Hello and a good day to everyone. Today it is a pleasure for me, Daniel, and my friend Haris to present to you a topic on advanced imaging modalities. This particular topic is focused on hybrid imaging, which is again focused on SPECT. Before I start, I would like to ask a favor from the audiences to ignore all the background noises because the condition is not as encouraging as it seems. So without further ado, let us go into the presentation. So before going further into the presentation, we should know what is hybrid imaging. Hybrid imaging is a combination of two different imaging modalities with two different working functions combined to perform a single function of imaging, whereby the modalities image the anatomical and the functional parts related to an illness in a patient. This is the next step in the diagnosis of illnesses in the patients. Previously, we could only able to obtain limited information of a patient's condition at the time by using different imaging protocols for different imaging purposes. Of course, there were two different modalities involved in the diagnosis before the advancement of the technology. As time emerges further, medicine is seen to be increasingly involved in the fusion of more than a function in the imaging modalities, especially in the medical imaging sector. This is common in this century. In the advancement of technologies nowadays, we can see fusions everywhere in the world of medicine. Apart from medical imaging, there are other sectors as well in healthcare that focuses on the fusion of modalities, medicines, and etc. So let us go into the other slide. So why do we need to focus more on hybrid imaging? Hybrid imaging provides better information by combining anatomical details with the much needed physiological, functional, or metabolical information. We can get a better and accurate diagnosis, yes, with the potential of hybrid imaging becoming improvised. Mind you, in terms of increased specificity, sensitivity, attenuation correction, and localization of the pathology involved in the patients. Every good thing has its bad side to it. So what are the negatives for the use of hybrid imaging? Of course, hybrid imaging can be more expensive and they are limited to areas where the development of technology is more recurrent and common, and this can be focused more into the cities rather than the rural areas. Hospital located at cities, they have a better settings in terms of modalities, funding, and etc. So rural areas can miss the chances of getting to be introduced to this specific hybrid imaging. So for the next part, I will be explaining more on the components of SPECT. For the CT detector, first generation, they use low resolution CT detector. For the second ones, they use the CT scanners use better resolution multi-slice scanners. For the camera, the gamma camera, it comes with a dual head, and it can be used. It can be angled into 90 and 180 degrees, and it is used generally for planar and tomographic imaging of single photon emitting radio traces. For the SPECT CT systems, they include separate CT and gamma camera devices using common or adjacent mechanical gantries, and they share the same scanning table. The scanning table can take the weight up to 500 pounds. And for the hybrid system, the SPECT detectors are offset in the axial direction from the plane of the X-ray source and detector. This is very important as both scanning processes in SPECT and CT modalities, they don't happen simultaneously. They don't happen simultaneously. As X-ray scatter, the radiation scatter can reach and possibly damage the SPECT detectors designed for radionuclide low count rate imaging. The energy levels are different, obviously. Gamma rays, X-rays, they don't come together in a same level of spectrum, energy spectrum. So the justification is very valid for the separation of SPECT and CT modalities. So SPECT CT systems using a low-dose single or multi-slice CT have both the SPECT and CT detectors mounted on the same rotating platform. The detectors, they rotate at the same platform, but they are not, the functions do not combine together. The scanning timing, the timing for the scan is totally different. The imaging is performed while the rotators are rotating sequentially around the patient. Again, this proves my previous explanation on why the SPECT and CT detect the scanning timing and everything else is different from each other. They are sequenced. What are the limitations that come together with this particular ability of the modality to function sequentially? The rotational speed of the SPECT CT machine reduces to approximately 20 seconds per rotation. It becomes slower. Therefore, the complexity of the gantry and the cost of the technology is increased when two different modalities are combined to become one. I will show you the image or how the modalities are combined together, how the machines look like. So here you can see the machine. This is one of the machine, hybrid CT machines. You can see the imaging table here, SPECT, modality, CT, and even PET. For this one, 3 of the different imaging modalities are combined to become as one. So it's up for the radiographers, radiologists to choose what they require of the machine to perform. For instance, I can choose SPECT CT or SPECT CT separately and perform my imaging system. Imaging procedure. Alright. This is for my part. Thank you for listening. I will now pass the recording session to my friend Haris, and he will explain more on image acquisition of CT and SPECT, followed by the images, the examples of images, and the advantages of this machine. Thanks again for listening.
Hi everyone, my name is Haris. Now my friend Daniel has explained about introduction and component of SPECT and CT. So for my part, I will explain about image acquisition and image reconstruction of SPECT and CT, and also including advantage and disadvantage. So for the method image acquisition of CT is using sequential style. So it means the image is taken by order. Second, it has a low dose with CT component and X-ray rotation 220 degrees around the patient. In CT image, we can obtain an intense spatial resolution of 2.5 and of 10 mm in the axial plane. So, of course, it can provide higher spatial resolution, and faster scanning time more than other modalities. So at the end of the acquisition by CT, an acquisition map is created for the registration and processing of the image. Then we go to the image acquisition spec. The image acquisition spec is represented by a rotating dual head cameras, variable angle sodium iodide with installation cameras. So in spec, the acquisition scanning time is taken about approximately 20 to 30 minutes. So basically, iterative method is used to reconstruct the image for 10 alone SPECT procedures. And after both image acquisition is done, the image acquisition of SPECT and CT will be combined. If the part of image reconstruction SPECT and CT, which is used iterative method, we can see the image. It is the flow of iterative method. We start assume activities distribution, then it continues to calculate projection image. After that, we compare the actual projection image, and so on. For the first step on iterative method by SPECT modality, we assume activities distribution of the radio traces in the patient. By using a model of imaging characteristic of installation camera and the patient, the calculated projection image will then be compared with actual projection image, and based on this, the assumed activities is adjusted here, and then the process is repeated several times until the calculated projection image approximates the actual projection image. So this is the example of SPECT CT image. So from my left side, we can see the extremities image. So this is from C. So C image is a SPECT image that focuses on the functional side of the diagnosed illness, and on the D is a CT image. It focuses on the anatomical side of diagnosed illness. So go to the E, it show both SPECT and CT image are combined to provide anatomical and functional information. And this other example of SPECT and CT image. So for my final part, I will talk about advantage and disadvantage of SPECT CT modalities. So as we can see, the advantage, firstly, is much more available and widely used compared to SPECT and CT. Because of the acquisition time is cut into half, and then SPECT radiators are more cheaper and has longer half-life. But however, it still has disadvantage, which is the first, long scan time, and then no quantifiable blood flow measurement, but sometimes misidentification of artifacts will be happen. And the final is low resolution image prone to attenuation. So this is the end of our events, and thank you for listening our videos, and have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening, guys.